You gotta remind me where we were,
We,
because I think I was starting another problem.
yeah, I think we got to number 3, but I don't think anybody got it. All right.
What was the number? I mean, what was the problem?
I think you threw a negative in to begin with.
You remember? Anybody got it in the notes?
Yeah, it was negative x squared minus 2x minus 4.
Well, I gave you a 3 in there, but I guess I didn't. All right, so we continue with complete the square, and we're gonna negative x squared minus 2x plus blank is equal to 4 plus blank. Factor out a negative, and that's going to actually factor out a negative 1. And that's going to give you x squared plus 2x plus blank is equal to 4 plus negative 1 times blank. And remember from last week, whatever you factor out here, you have to what?
Multiply that.
Multiply by that blank. And that'll give you 2. 2 divided by 1 is what? I'm sorry, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1 squared is 1. 1 squared. So that gives us shortcut number 1. Right there. Negative 1 times x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to, what's 4 minus 1? Okay, I remember we got to the I, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, so at this point, let's see what we've got. We've got a y-intercept of 0, negative 4. And we've got a vertex of what? Negative 1, negative 3?
Sure.
And let's go ahead and write vertex form down in case they ask for it. F of x is equal to negative 1 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 1. That's your vertex form if they ask for it. Now let's solve it for x. Well, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, x plus 1, quantity squared is equal to negative 3. Now at this point, I'll take my handy dandy red highlighter. I'm going to highlight this guy right there. That red highlighter tells us no x-intercepts. That's what the red highlighter tells us. So at this point, we can either stop. We can either stop right here and say there's no x-intercepts. We can write it in terms of I. And that's it. That's all. There's 2 things we can do. Now, why would you stop? Well, let's say you're in an application or problem where you just need to sketch the graph. If you just need to sketch the graph, do you need to write it in terms of I? No. All you need to know is there's no x-intercepts. Okay? So that would be why you would stop. This is what you're probably going to be doing because most of your homework, most of your tests, most of your teachers are going to want you to put it in terms of I. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to negative 3. X plus 1 quantity squared is equal to negative 1 times 3. And then take the square root of everything. X plus 1 is equal to square root of negative 1 times square root of 3. And x plus 1, I'm sorry, x, now I'm turning green, I wish I knew what I'm doing to turn it. It was erasing in the first class. Figured it out. Oh my gosh. I figured something out. I want the eraser in to be something. I hold down the mouse button, and touch whatever I want to do. That's why it's been changing, because I've been actually with the mouse. I'm glad I've had training on this thing. All right, so x is equal to I times square root of 3 minus 1. And you can write that, if you want to write it as 1.57 or whatever square root of 3 is, that's fine. The directions will tell you whether they want it as a exact means square root, or approximate, which would be take the square root of 3, which is 1.57 or 1.7. Okay? So, what does this thing look like? Well, let me get this side of the way. See, she quitting. She's leaving. So take your handy dandy. Your what? Your comfort is not my priority. Okay? You learning this material is priority. Your comfort, I don't care about. All right, so 0, -4 is my y-intercept. And my vertex is -1, -3. Okay? So my parabola looks like that. No, that's terrible. It's hard to draw with a mouse. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried it? It sucks.
Yeah.
I know you have.
I mean, yeah, it's impossible.
There. So, what's the domain? All real numbers. Range is -infinity to what? -3. Increasing from -infinity to -1. Decreasing from -1 to infinity.
So you immediately factor out the -1.
You have to do that before you complete the square, because what does A have to be? Or in front of the, let me put a blue marker. This has to be a +1 for you to be able to complete the square. All right, I told y'all that was a 3, right? So let's move it up to a 4. We're going to get to 10 today. Y'all know that, don't you? I like your comment last week. What did you say? 10's not looking too good, or 5's not looking too good. All right, -x squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. All right, work on that. Or you could quit. And of course, if you missed Wednesday's class, you can always what? Watch it online. Thank you. Oh, I got a call from New York. That must be Donald Trump. He must be wanting to talk to me.
You just tell him after class, you'll get back there.
I will. Yeah. National security can wait.
Yeah, if Hillary calls that.
Hillary calls.
You're gonna break your neck.
Yes, because she's the true blue American. Oh.
Yeah, I think this is where I got lost.
Good.
And you were telling us how terrible our other teachers were with his practice.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's right. Yeah, you can take on the calculator.
I commented on something. I said the RNC needs to rent buses for November the 8th, like the Democrats do. And this cat put, need buses. We work for a living. He was talking about I said no guy for shut-ins and disabled and our older voters. Yeah. No comment.
Yeah, it's not worth it. You can get in those on Facebook where you're probably just like,
oh my gosh,
like,
there are some people that are dumb as balls of hammers.
You read the comments, I just had to drop my phone. I was like, just don't even get this.
I'm gonna have to add you so I can bring in some of my conversations so you can look at them. Oh, I love to get on there. I got on there one time. Do you remember the comment? You remember the comment when Hillary, she said that she said she was running on the campaign. She wants to bring America together. Well, besides the deplorable comment, she also said that all of Trump's supporters were ignorant.
Yeah.
Ignorant white Southerners. And I got on there and I made a big old paragraph and I said, I is a Southerner, and I spelled it S-U-T-H, and I put a bunch of misspelled words on there. I got me a degree, and my degrees, and I spelled it all crazy. And I had people on there actually said, I can't understand what you're saying. How old are you? You know, our country just does not have a sense of humor at all.
Well, they do within political correctness
Yeah.
parameters.
Oh, wow. Negative x squared plus 3x plus blank is equal to 10 plus blank. Factor out that negative. Negative 1. Leaves me with x squared minus what? 3x plus blank is equal to 10 plus negative 3. Negative 3. Negative 3. Negative 1 minus blank. 3 divided by 2 is equal to what? 3 divided by 2. And 3 divided by 2 squared is 9 fourths. 9 fourths goes there. Now you have shortcut number. Which one? See if you're paying attention. Shortcut number what? Number 2, Hubert. Thank you, 7 or 8 people that are paying attention. Negative 1 times x minus 3 halves quantity squared is equal to 40 minus, did we do this problem?
I think we may have started it.
I asked y'all, what was the last problem we went over? Well, then why do I remember this?
I don't know. I think I may have tried one with homework. This is what I gave up.
No, I remember doing this. No, I remember getting 49 fourths. Yeah, that was another problem. Okay. All right. So, negative x minus 3 halves quantity squared is equal to 40 minus 9 is 31 over 4. Now, at this point, we stop and we go over here and we'll say, okay, a y-intercept is 0, negative 10. Our vertex is 3 halves, comma, negative 31 fourths. And y'all can change that into mixed numbers later. I don't care about that one. And f of x is equal to negative parentheses x minus 3 halves squared minus 31 fourths. What just happened? All right, the only reason I do that is because sometimes your homework is going to ask for that.
It does.
And that's why I do that.
Well, most of them is the first thing about it.
And what else is this, y'all? This is what you see in what unit? Unit 1. You got your A, you got your H, you got your K. So at this point, now we're going to solve. Divide by negative 1. There's that negative 1 right there. Divide by negative 1. And x minus 3 halves quantity squared is equal to negative 31 fourths. X minus 3 halves quantity squared is equal to negative 1 times 31 fourths. Now if that's the square root of everything, x minus 3 halves is equal to I times the square root of 31 over 2. And x is equal to I times the square root of 31 plus 3 over 2. All right, sketch it.
Cut it over.
We ain't seen ugly yet. They just say 5's not looking too good.
Yeah, where did it go from 31 to okay?
Actually, what is 32 over 4? 8. So you can just do that in your head.
Thank you, 7th grade math teacher.
There you go.
And let me ask you this: when you pulled that down, you got your 9/4 that we put in there, but then when you done your quantity squared, it was 3/2.
You take the square root of this term, shortcut number 2, and square root of this term.
Okay.
A minus B, quantity squared. Those shortcuts that I keep telling you not to forget, they're not going away.
It's like with the numbers, I get it, but the fraction.
It'll take time. By the time you get to number 10, and you've done 5,000 or 6,000 homework problems, and I try to give you a lot on completing the square. Let's draw our handy dandy crosshairs. And let's put here's my y-intercept, 0, -10. And my 1.5 is right here. And negative, we'd say -8. Now what can you tell me about this parabola? Let's take our handy dandy white highlighter. And what can you tell me about this parabola from this right here? It's opening which way? Downward. And what does the eye tell us? So it's a floater. It's out there in one of the quadrants.
So really, that's all the eye's good for.
Well, actually, the negative under the radical tells you that. The eye is only good for being able to do algebra with eye. And you'll see that in the next section we go over after complete the square.
Does anybody try graphing these in the homework?
Why?
Not easy.
Why?
Because it gets down into the fractions. I'm trying to get it right on it. I can't tell how many I graphed, and it's like wrong. And they pull up their graph, and it's like shifted
Well,
a quarter position.
I'll give you that if you see me after class. I'll fix them for you. All right, so that's up to about a 4. So let's try 1. And I'm going to have to move into the second type of complete the square. The second type of complete the square is where A is not equal to 1. In the previous problems, A has either been 1 or it's been what? -1. So now it's not going to be 1 or -1. It's going to be something else. So what do? Well, the only thing different is you have to factor out that common term where we used to factor out the -1. Now you got to factor out that number. Now remember, what is factoring? Distributive law is what? Multiplication. What is factoring? Division. Remember that. Because sometimes that's going to give you a fraction for B. And then you have to divide it by what? 2, Hubert. That's right, guys. Right? So sometimes it's not. Sometimes it will. I'll start you off real simple, okay? So let's do one. 2x squared plus 4x minus 7 is equal to 0. So it's just like the negative 1, only instead of a negative 1 pulling out, you're going to pull out the 2. Florida School Board makes history, opt out of Common Core.
Yeah, I got a great phrase I read one time, I'll never forget it. You guys said, achieving success by lowering standards.
Yep, that's what Columbia does. That's why we have probability and statistics in high school.
Did you know that China graduated 14
Bad.
times?
What?
China graduated 14 times more engineers than the U.S. did last year.
Yeah, because they have, it's called work ethic. Here we have entitlement. You go to school for 12 years, I want a high school diploma. No matter if I can make a change or not.
Yeah, I go for your degree, I need 100 grand.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And when I get out of college, I want a job. No matter if I suck at what I do, I want a job.
In a car like mom and dad's got, in a house that's worth.
It's called entitlement. It's called getting a trophy for what? For participating. Exactly. America was built on, if you work hard, you what? Succeed. And somewhere in the last 20 years, I don't know what's happened to it. It's Bush's fault. That's who it is. Dang old Bush. He can't do nothing with it. You know whose fault it's going to be the next 4 years, right? Bush's. Factor out 2. And remember, whatever you factor out, oops, I'm going to use it for let's not forget. Whatever you factor out, you have to multiply by the right side 1. Now, what's 2 divided by 1? I'm sorry. 2 divided by 2. And 1 squared, I'll do that for you. 1. All right, finish it out. They're the Hamilton twins. In the first class. Yeah. So what does that give us right here? Shortcut number 1, Hubert. That's right, class. Thank you for the interaction. And what's 7 plus 2? I'll do that one for you. Hopefully you're starting to see why completing squares should be used over everything. Because it's based on 7th grade mathematics in the way. That's called twisting the knife. And once you get the knife in, you twist it. Untwist it. I'm telling y'all that if you can't do this, then you're not comfortable with 7th grade mathematics or below. That hopefully makes you feel good. All right. So at this point, the vertex is -1 and -9. Vertex formula, vertex form, f of x is equal to 2 times x plus 1 quantity squared minus 9. This is what we studied back in Unit 1. So what does that 2 tell us?
Is going to be
That it is going to be
shrunken.
It's going to be compressed.
Yeah.
Or stretched along the y-axis. It's going to be skinny. And our vertex 1 to the left and 9. 1 to the left and 9 what? Okay, so now we just solve for our x-intercepts. Take the square root of both sides. X plus 1 is equal to 3 over the square root of 2. I'm going to go ahead and rationalize that denominator. So I'm going to do it in blue. Square root of 2 over square root of 2. That's going to give me x plus 1 is equal to 3 square root of 2 over 2. And now I'm going to bring that 1 over as 2 over 2. And x is equal to 3 square root of 2 minus 2 over 2. Now at this point, this is probably the answer that they're going to want because it's exact. But I'm going to sketch the graph, so I'm going to do a little bit in my head. What's 1.41 or 1.4? 1.4 times 3. So 1.4 times 3 is 5.2, right? So I'm going to go x is equal to positive or negative 5.2 minus 2 over 2. Now, what's $5.20 minus 20 cents? Minus $2, sorry. And what's half of $3.20?
160.
160? $3.20?
I think it's 4.2.
Okay, thank you.
4.2.
4.2, thank you. All right, now that makes it easier. What's 4.2 minus 2? 2.2. And what's half of 2.2? 1.1. So we got 1.1 for the 1x intercept. Now what's negative 4.2 minus 2? And what's half of 6.2? Negative 3.1. So there's your 2x intercept. The y-intercept is 0, negative 7. And your vertex is negative 1, negative 9. Sketch it. What?
When you leave the things in terms of decimal for really subtract with everything you say this change, I draw a line for the reason. It's the exact same thing.
Dependency on the calculator. And you may say, well, I don't use a calculator anymore. Well, at one point, somewhere you lost it. I don't know where, but you lost it somewhere. You lost the ability to add and subtract in your head. Heck, I still can't subtract some numbers. I can't stand 8s. I can't stand to subtract 8s. But I have to work with it. Now, does that mean that you're not going to be an engineer? No. But when you can't add in front of several other engineers in your head, they're going to think you're an Indian.
They're like, he's like me.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're forming a union.
Form a union, yeah, so we can get paid what? 3 times what we're worth.
Yeah. Okay, help me out here. I'm the engineer that can't add. You took that, I see your
I took what?
your x plus 1. Where did you subtract the 1 out of that? That's what
I took the square right here,
Yeah.
and that gives me 1. And then what do I change 1 into for a denominator of 2?
That's
2 over 2. And there's where 2 over 2 comes from right there. Got 3 square root 2 over 2 minus 2 over square root. 3 square root 2 over 2 minus 2 over 2. Or you can write it 3 square root 2 minus 2 over 1, 2. Common denominator can be written as 1.
just to get the square root out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did right here to get the square root out of it. And once I got the square root out of the denominator became common, 2.
Okay.
Because I made this 1 into, if this was a 3, I'd made this 3 over 3. If it was a star, I'd make this star over star. So that way I could add it.
Then you went with your decimal there.
I did that because I did this because I want to sketch it. And I don't know what the heck this is when I'm sketching. Do you?
No.
Unless you're Rain Man.
No, and I'm trying to figure out where did you get your decimal? You got 4. What is that you got there?
All right. This is 4.2. 3 times 1.4. The square root of 2 is 1.41. I dropped the 1 because we're sketching and it doesn't really matter. So I took 3 times 1.4. I said it was 5.2, but it's not. I thought it was. It's 4.2. That's 4.2. And then what's 4.2 minus 2? 2.2 divided by 2 is 1.1.
Okay.
Negative 6.2 minus divided by 2 is negative 3.1. So there's your 2x intercepts.
Oh, I'd have never figured that out.
Don't tell me that. Well, I tell you, one of the reasons you never figured that out is because when I give y'all this, the radical, y'all just sit there and go.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You should have been taught how to do radicals when you were doing square roots and things like that. You should have never been taught how to do it on a calculator. Now, later on, when you're taking the square root of 5,227, when you're doing the Pythagorean theorem, yes, you take the square root with a calculator. But you never take square roots of with a calculator of 1 to 12, or you don't do that. You don't teach students to do that. You tell them to figure it out with their brain so they can make change. All right, so have y'all tried that on any cash register? You need to do it once, you do it one time, Let's start doing it every single time. I do, I love to do it. And you're taking care of all this money for this company, and this cash register, and you couldn't make the change. That's real good. All right, so 0, -7. -1, -9. 1.1 and -3.1. What did we say about this parabola? It was going to be what? Compressed along the x-axis or what? Stretched along the y-axis, is it? Yes. Because your regular parabola would look something like that. What's your range? All real numbers, Hubert. Thank you, class. Domain, what I say?
Range.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not that anybody answered you.
No, y'all didn't give us rats rear end. Y'all not going to answer me or interact with me, so. The domain is all real numbers. What's the range?
1.1.
-9 to infinity.
Yeah, I'm looking at your graduate.
And then negative, it's decreasing from -infinity to what? -1, and increasing from -1 to infinity. So that's the number of what? 5 or 6? 6. So let's move it up to a number 7 or an 8. Nah, we got to go all the way. That way y'all can feel good about yourselves and you won't have to put smokestacks on the pickup truck. Or your Honda Civics. Or put video cameras and, what is it, DVD players in your 1988 Caprice Classic. It's blowing smoke because it's burning too much OIL. All right. Yeah, man, I spent $10,000 on this system. You should have took $1,000 and rebuilt your daggum engine, idiot. All right, so let's go with 3x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Yep. Can you quit? You want the window? You can do that window, the Ally commercial. Have you ever seen the Ally commercial where they go over and walks through that window? Dang! They're all doing the hand thing. Can't jump start my heart. There's those stupid commercials. You ever watch those commercials and then they put down at the bottom, do not attempt? Who's going to attempt to walk through a glass wall?
A lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
You realize that this is what
The same, yeah. They can't make change. And they can't tell you who won the Civil War. Korea? There's a little bit of a smile there, a little bit. No, there's not. I tried. The mayor of New York said that it was too early to tell whether the New York bombings were terrorism. Well, they don't want to say terrorism. You know why they don't want to say terrorism, don't you? That hurts Hillary. And see, he's a Democrat, so he don't want to hurt Hillary's chances by saying terrorism.
It's like, it's too early to tell. We're waiting on Obama to give a press conference.
I want to ban pressure cookers.
Yeah.
These pressure cookers are killing people. Nobody needs a pressure cooker at home. We need to ban them and knives.
Yeah,
When
you know
you
they're
ban
trying to
knives
do that in
too.
Europe.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Huh?
I'd say I've got to.
Hey, I got a 6. I love mine, but it's not 7. It blows up, right?
Yeah.
What,
This
they
is
have
some
them
kind of
blow
gal.
up?
I love mine. I haven't had a problem. I've had mine for a couple of years.
The 7 blew up.
Yeah, it blows up. The battery blows up or something.
That's not cool.
It's Bush's fault.
It's a design flaw.
He designed the
If
battery.
you puncture any phone battery, it's
Well, if you also leave it plugged up for 6 or 8 hours, yeah, it probably would. Some of them probably do. I don't know. But you can't take a S7 on the plane. You can't have it on. You have to turn it off. Well, the airlines I've been on, they don't have hardly any wireless anyway, so yeah, let's do that. All right, let's hurry up and quit. Get discouraged. Okay, what's the problem? You done finished it? Why not? All right, where do you not know what you're doing? And you didn't watch the... You know what you should do, Hubert? This is what was told to me several years ago. You ought to video your classes. If you would video your classes, people could watch them. I started videoing, and guess what? Nobody watched it. As soon as I quit videoing my classes, guess what? You should record your classes. What did Abraham Lincoln say? You can please some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time. But you can't please all the people all the time. And for those of you who don't know, that's what's called history. Yeah. I'm going to keep my mouth shut right now. I don't need to say a word about that. The history that you're supposed to learn, not the history. Shit. There's a difference between minus 2x plus blank is equal to 4 plus blank. There's 2 types of histories. What are they? The history that actually happened, and then the history that we want to teach.
The liberal academic history.
That's all I'm going to say.
I finished it for you.
So, ready to quit?
Yep.
2/3. I'm just like, no, you didn't. You suck.
See, that's where I keep messing up. I put the fraction over there, and I'm wanting to do a fraction on the other side for some reason.
All right, now divide 2/3 by 2.
See, that's what I'll start doing the last one. So, you know, I should be used to it by now.
You should be used to failure by now.
Yeah, that's why I lowered my standard.
That's what we could do. Lower your standards, so we'll just don't do completeness squared. And I'll let y'all keep doing quadratic formula, and you just depend on what?
We could just stop. We could just stop at 4.
No, let's lower it. If we're going to lower it, let's go all the way. Let's water it down.
Or some ones that have a above 1 that come out to nice numbers instead of 2/3 above it.
Make it convenient.
Yes, convenient. Not easy, just really, really good.
There we go. Convenient. That's a good word. Convenient. As a church lady used to say, wow, isn't that special? Isn't that convenient? That was one of the funniest characters that Dana Carvey ever came up with. Isn't that convenient? Some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking
Yeah, so I think most of it.
about. Dana Carvey, Google it. Church lady. Kind of looks like Cruz. What's his name? Ted Cruz?
Tom Cruise?
No, Ted Cruz.
So it's just,
We'll take a minute right quick.
two very opposite people.
I really despise Ted Cruz. I would not vote for Ted Cruz for dog catcher. I'll show you what church lady, she's really special. Special. Well, could you be flirting with, I don't know, Satan? Can't believe I've never seen a church lady.
You ever watch Cricket?
Yeah. What?
Are there some recordings too?
Yeah, I need to turn it off because somebody will complain. For those with 0 people that watch them, so. Gotta have these videos. 2/3 multiplied by what? 1/2 Hubert squared is equal to 1/3 squared, which is equal to what? Let me ask you a question right quick. What kind of math is this?
Like 5th grade or something.
5th to 7th grade. Well, really, 4th to 7th grade, because my son is learning fractions right now. 4th to 7th grade. So you should be able to do that. So that gives us shortcut number 2, which will be 3 times x minus 1/3 1 squared is equal to 3/9, that's 1/3, right? 3/9? I'm asking them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Thanks. 12/3 plus 1/3. All right, finish it out. So y-intercept is 0, -4. The vertex is 1/3, comma, -13/3. F of x is equal to 3 times x minus 1/3 quantity squared minus 13/3. That's the intercept form. Now let's solve it. Divide by 3/1, divide by 3/1. X minus 1/3 quantity squared is equal to 13/3 multiplied by what? 1/3. X minus 1/3 is equal to 13/what? 9. Square root of both sides. X minus 1/3 is equal to the square root of 13 over 3. X is equal to square root of 13 plus 1 over 3. Square root of 13 is between the square root of 9 and the square root of 16. 3.5 is in the middle. 9 to 16 is 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. Square root of 12.5 is 3.5. So what do you think square root of 13 is? Everybody should say 3.6. Thank you. X is equal to positive or negative, positive or 3, positive or negative 3.6 plus 1 over 3. What's 3.6 plus 1? And 4.6 divided by 3? Well, what's 4.8 divided by 3? 1.6. Okay? So 3.6 or 4.6 is going to be less than 1.6. I'm going to say 1.5. I don't really care because we're sketching. Negative 3.6 plus 1 is what? Negative 2.6. 26 divided by 3 is what? 4? No, 8? Yeah, something like that. So that's going to be, I don't know if I'm trying to call it. Negative 2.6. 2.6 to be 0.8. Point what? 0.8. Negative 0.8. And there's your x-intercepts. Sketch it.
Okay, I'm still in the 7th grade.
We're about.
You got your x minus 1/3 equals square root of 13 over 3. Above it we had 13 over 9. How did it evolve to 13 over 3?
Come on now.
Help me now.
What's square root of 9?
Yeah, but you don't take the square root in the numerator?
Yeah, no fine. Remember back in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, they said the square root of 1/2 is equal to the square root of 1 over the square root of 2. You could break up one radical into 2 radicals.
Because I was thinking it would have been like 3 point something another over 3.
Yeah, you don't use that calculator.
No, I'm just trying to do it in my head. So you don't do the top.
You can do it later. I just put the square root there because I'm trying to get it condensed down. And then when I get it condensed down to here, then I can focus on the square root of 13 in my head. That's why I don't do anything until at the very end.
Okay, so you can do the bottom and don't necessarily have to do the top.
Yeah, you can, but I wouldn't do that. I'd go ahead and take the square root of it right here. The bottom. Because also, most of the time, you're going to have a common one. Denominator. Now, what is this one going to be? Look at your Unit 1. What does that tell you? It's going to be skinnier than the last problem. It's going to open upward because it's positive. And this is the vertex. That's your horizontal shift. That's your vertical shift. And y-intercept and the x-intercepts. Y-intercept is 0, -4. Vertex is 1/3 and -4 and 1/3. And where's my x-intercept? 1.5 and -0.8. That's what it looks like. What? Yeah. All right, this is a number, what did I say, 5 or 6, 7? 7. All right, so let's move it up to an 8. See you. Negative 5x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Not only are you going to factor out 5, you're going to factor out what? Negative 5. If first you don't succeed, no. If first you don't succeed, quit.
Lower your standard.
Quit. Throw your pencil down, make it pop up against the notebook. Pop. I used to get real good at that. I don't tolerate liars. I'm a nice person, not a stupid one. Okay, that's what I'm scoring doing.
Yeah, I get so bad doing the online work. I'm like, if this is right, I'm gonna follow.
Well, you know how to check it though, with your calculator.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna put the graph in there and look at that.
Mhm.
What would I do?
You quit yet? Why'd you quit?
There's just no right for
Why?
It's gonna be too crazy.
Well, you're gonna have 2/5 in the middle,
Mhm. I
and
got
then
that.
take 2/5 divided by 2 over 1. That'll come out to be what?
1/5.
You sure? 2/5, let me make sure. 2/5 divided by 1 divided by 2.
That'd be that wrong.
It'll be multiplied by 1/2. would be 2/10.
Yeah, which would be that
Okay, 2/10, which is 1/5.
squared.
1/5 squared is 1/25. So you'd add
I got
1/25. Good.
Then we multiply that by the -5. And we're gonna have, then we factor it out. And then it's gonna be a -1/125. No way.
-5 squared minus 2x plus blank is equal to 4 plus blank. -5 x squared plus 2/5 x plus blank is equal to 4 plus -5 times blank. 2/5 divided by 2/1. 2/5 multiplied by 1/2. 1/5 squared is, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You're kidding me. What's this 5 over? What happens to the 25 and 5? That's -1/5, right? So I'm gonna erase
That
this.
makes it look real good.
I make it look easy, don't I?
Yeah.
You know why I make it look easy?
Is that one for fractions?
Because I am writing everything what? Out. Some of y'all, I'm not saying y'all in here, students, try to do all of that, what I just did, in between two blue lines. And you can't do it. So -5 times x plus 1/5 quantity squared is equal to 4 minus what? Now notice, I could have went ahead and tried to do this, but that would have confused you, so that's why I wrote it again. -5 times x plus 1/5 quantity squared is equal to 20/5 minus 1/5. -5 times x plus 1/5 quantity squared is equal to 19/5. I'm gonna put that over here, what I just did, that, 2/5 divided by 2/1 squared is equal to 2/5 times 1/2, which is equal to 1/5 quantity squared, which is equal to 1/25. Now, what's our what's our y-intercept? Well, our y-intercept, you don't even have to write it down, there's your y-intercept. Your vertex, take a green highlighter, and I'm just going to highlight these two guys. There's your vertex, take the opposite of that. Of course, you need to write f of x form. So f of x is equal to -5 times x plus 1/5 quantity squared minus 19/5. Somebody tell me what this tells you. Unit 1, what does it tell you? Tells you that the parabola is going to be opening which way? Down. It's going to be skinnier than the last two we did. And the vertex is 1/5 to the left and 19/5 down. You see how unit 1 and unit 2 ties together? Now, are we going to have x-intercepts? Okay, Pip, we got a 50-50 shot, yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes.
No. Why?
I took one for the team.
Why? What do you do to solve? Divide by -5 on both sides, what does that give you? A negative, so you're gonna have negative 19 fifths. I'm gonna divide by 5, which means I multiply by what? 1/5? It's gonna be negative, so x plus 1/5 quantity squared is equal to negative 19 over what?
25.
X plus 1/5 quantity squared is equal to -1 times 19 over 25. That's square root of everything. X plus 1/5 equals I times the square root of 19 over 5. And X is equal to I times the square root of 19 minus 1 over 5. And sketch it. You know it doesn't have any x-intercepts. The vertex is -1/5 and +9. I'm sorry. Negative, let me put that in this. Where is it? Here we go. -1/5 and negative, so it's in the third quadrant. No, yes. The third quadrant, and it's open in which way? Down, Hubert. That's right, class. So -1/5 and negative what? What is that? 5 4/5, 4 4 5. That's close enough. Y-intercept is what? -4. Right here. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Why? Because negative, what does negative 19 fifths come out to be? 3 4/5. That's right. Okay, I did something. I did 4 4/5. I did my math wrong in my head, so that's okay. And there it is.
Okay, help me again.
Where you at?
The same thing last time you got me.
Where?
I see where you reduced it down to an I. You had 19 over 25. You took the square root of 25, which is 5. Okay, where did the 1/5 go? Was the x plus, I guess downward. Yeah, well, you got x plus 1/5.
I brought this over here because the common denominator is the same. I just brought that -1 over here. You can bring it over as -1/5 and then write it like this.
Okay.
Am I over time?
A little bit.
How far? Why didn't y'all say something? Y'all get out of here. Have a good day.
We're having too much fun.
You're having too much fun. Man, I didn't know it was time to go. These back-to-back classes suck.